Alright guys, welcome back. In this video, let's talk about operators. So operators in programming are reserved symbols that you can use to perform mathematical and logical operations. For example, we can use operators to do arithmetic. So this obviously entails addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, or we can use it to do comparison. So we can, for example, compare a variable to see if it's equal or not equal to another variable. So in most times, you would in most cases be working with the three main types of operators, which are arithmetic operators, assignment operators, which we got a little sneak peek of how to use in the previous video, where we assign values to variables, and then the last common one would be the comparison operators. So let's start by going over the arithmetic operators that we can use. Of course, I am in jsfiddle.net again, so if you guys want to follow along, which I highly recommend that you do, please go to jsfiddle.net and remember to click on the JavaScript tab. So let's dive into arithmetic operators. And arithmetic operators, like I alluded to in the beginning, are operators that we can use to perform to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division operations, right? So let's declare a variable. So we went over variables in the previous video. So hopefully if you guys watched that video, you have a good understanding of what variables are and how to create them. If not, I will leave a link in the description of this video pointing to that video. But so let's declare a variable here and let's give it an initial value. So let's actually declare two variables. So we're going to declare variable x, we're going to set it equal to 5, and then we're going to declare another variable called y, and let's set it equal to 10. Okay, so let's go over the first type of arithmetic operator that we have, and that's the addition operator. So if we look at the addition operator here, let's create a new variable that's going to take the result of adding x and y, receive the result of us adding x and y together. So let's create a variable here called sum, and let's set it equal to x plus y. So this is the first arithmetic operator. This is the addition operator, of course. As you can imagine, it's very obvious, x plus y. The symbol here that we're using to denote that this is a addition operation is the plus symbol. So this is how we do addition. So the variable that the variable sum will receive the value of x plus y. So if you remember, x is 5 and y is 10. So if we log this out to the console, so let's do that by doing console.log, and in here we supply the variable that we want to print to the screen. So in this case, sum. If we run this, we should get 15 over here, as you can see. Okay, so that's very simple. That's how you do addition using the addition operator. Let's take a look at how we can do subtraction. All right. So let's declare a new variable. Let's just call it subtract. And instead of using the plus symbol, you could imagine we'd use the minus symbol. Again, subtract, this variable that we are declaring, we're going to set it to an initial value of x minus y. Or actually, let me do y minus x for this example, because so that we get a positive number back. So y minus x. If we then log out sum, so not sum, sorry, subtract, we should get back 5, because we are saying, okay, subtract is equal to the value of y minus x. So y, which is 10, minus x, which is 5, should yield 5. So let's run this, and you can see we get 5 over here. Okay, let's get into the next one, which is multiplication. So I'm just going to create a new variable called multiplication, and again, very obvious, right? We will be using the multiplication symbol to perform a multiplication operation. So we use the, I believe you call it the asterisk symbol on your keyboard. And then we do x multiplied by what? So in this case, we want to use y. Okay, so again, what this will do is this will perform a multiplication operation. We're saying that multiplication should equal to x times y. So if we print out multiplication over here, we should get back 50. Okay, so that's how we do multiplication. So the last one that I want to go over is division. All right, so, or let me change this comment to multiplication. Okay, so the last type of arithmetic operator that I want to go over is division. And let's just call this variable division. Okay, so again, this is how we divide, right? So this is how we perform a division operator using the division symbol, and in this case, the way we do that is y. If you see on your keyboard, we have what we call the forward slash. So it's this symbol right here. This is the denotion of the division symbol in most programming languages. So we're saying y divided by x. So 10 divided by 5 should yield a value of 2. So if we print this out, we should get back 2. And we do. Okay, so just to recap, we went over the first type of operators, which are the arithmetic operators. And the first one we looked at was the addition one. How do we do addition? It's very simple. We just have x. The symbol to denote addition is the plus symbol on your keyboard, and then y. So x plus y, this is how we would add two values. Subtraction follows the same pattern. It's just the symbol is different in this case because we want to do subtraction. We use the minus symbol, so y minus x. Multiplication, again, very similar. The only thing that changes here is the symbol that we're using. So to denote that we want to perform a multiplication operation, we use the asterisk symbol. So x times y. And then the last one over here is the division operation. To denote that we want to perform a division operation, what we do is we use the forward slash symbol on your keyboard to denote that this is going to be a division. So y divided by x. Okay, so this is how you do arithmetic in JavaScript, well, in just about any other programming language. The next type of operators that I want to go over are the assignment operators, and you already got an example of how to do this in the previous video where we went over variables and how to assign values to variables. So the first type of operator that you already saw was the assignment operator. Okay, so this is assigning a value to a variable. So like for example, let's declare a new variable here called a and set it equal to hello. Okay, so this is the assignment operator. Obviously, the symbol that denote that this is an assignment is the equal sign over here. So we already saw how to use that in the previous video, and we've been seeing how to use it in these examples up here because we've been assigning values to these variables and then printing them out to the screen. So let's look at one that we haven't went over yet, and that is going to be the let's see, the add and assign operator. Assignment operator. Okay, so we saw how to do addition in this example up here, right? But let's say that we have a variable called, let's call it, I don't know, like b. Let's set its value equal to, let's start its value out at 4. So how do we perform an operation where we want to assign, we want to increment whatever is in b by a specific value, right? So we know we can do that by saying something like, we could doing logging something like this and saying b plus 4. So this will just output this value to the screen, and if we run this, we should get back 8, which we do. But what we want to do is we want to reassign this value back to b. So how can we do this, right? Well, one way of doing it is like this. B is equal to b plus 4. So we're saying that, okay, we've initialized this variable b with a value of 4 over here, and then we want to update the value that is in this variable by adding 4 to whatever value has been initialized in this variable or is in this variable. So this is equivalent of saying b is equal to, okay, b, so the variable name, which has a value of 4, so 4 plus 4. Okay, so then the result that we should get over here would, if we print it out to the screen, should still be 8. So if we run that, you can see we're still getting 8. But there's a shorter way for us to do this, and this is by using the add an assignment operator. So to do that, we get rid of this piece and we put the plus symbol in front of the equal sign. So this is a abbreviated way of performing this operation over here. B equals to b plus 4. This is the shorthand version of how we can perform an operation like this by using the add and assignment operator. We have the ability to do this in a much more shorter syntax, like you can see over here. So we can also do the same for subtraction. So let's just copy this, and over here this is going to, we'll be looking at the second one, which is the minus an assignment operator. So let's declare another variable, let's call it m, and set it equal to 10, and then instead of doing plus and equal, you probably already guessed, we will be using the minus symbol, like that. So the minus an assignment operator operates the same way as the add an assignment operator. The only difference is that instead of addition, of course, we will be doing subtraction. So this is going to be equivalent to us saying m is equal to m minus 4. Well, let's do 5 in this case. Okay, so if we print this out to the console, you might already guess that we will be getting back 5. So there we go. Okay, so again, using these assignment operators are really just a shorthand version of us performing arithmetic operations on the same variable. So let's move on to the next one that we have, which is the multiplication and assignment operator. So I'm just going to copy and paste this again, and for this one we will be going over the multiplication and assignment operator. Okay, so I probably should have named these variables better. I've just been using letters, but let's continue doing that. So let's start this variable off at 2, and then let's use the multiplication and assignment operator, and you probably already guessed it again. Instead of using the minus symbol, we will be using the multiplication symbol, which is the asterisk symbol on your keyboard. So we say here, let's multiply this by 2. So again, the shorthand version is equivalent to us saying k is equal to k times 2. So k, the value, the value, we want to set the variable's k value to k, which is going to be 2 times 2. So if we console.log k, very obvious, we will be getting a result of 4. Okay? So that's the multiplication and assignment operator. The last one that I want to go over is, okay, you guessed it, the division and assignment operator. So as you can see, a lot of these are following the same exact pattern, which is the case for a lot of these concepts, these fundamental concepts of programming. So that's why I say if you practice these concepts on your own, you're giving yourself like the best chance of you actually learning, and for these stuff to actually persist. Um, so let's look at the final type of assignment operator. Um, and in this case, we will be looking at the division and assignment operator. So let's call this variable z. Let's set it equal to 4. So let's give it an initial value of 4. And then let's say over here z, instead of the multiplication symbol, we will use the division symbol, which again is the / in your computer, equal to. So this is the same as us saying z is equal to z divided by 2. So z has a value of 4. If we divide that by 2, we should get back 2. So if we log z, we should get back 2, which we do. Okay, so that's the final type of assignment operator that I want to go over. Again, just to recap, assignment operators gives us the ability to perform arithmetic operations and assign them to a variable in a shorthand way, right? So instead of us having to do this in 2 steps, we have the ability to do this in 1 step. So again, for example, instead of us having to do, let me show you. Instead of us having to do b is equal to b plus 4, which I already have here, we just do the shorthand version of it, which is b plus equals to 4. Okay? So the final type of operators that I want to go over are the comparison operators, and as the name suggests, we use these operators to perform comparisons, right? We can use them to do checks that would say if a variable is equal to another variable, if a variable is not equal to another variable, if a variable is greater than another variable. So we use these especially a lot in conditions and loops, which are 2 concepts that we'll be getting in future videos. But in this video, let's just go over the more common ones and use the same approach that we've been using, which is printing out our results to the console. Okay, so the first comparison that I want to go over is the one, the equality check. So this is the let's call this check if variables are equal. All right, so let's create some new variables here. So let's say let name equals, I'm going to use my name, or actually let's do age. So let's say age equals to 24. Okay. So let's declare another variable, and we're going to call this one, so let me call this variable my age, and then let's call the second variable your age. So the first comparison operator that I want to go over is the equal operator, to check if two variables are equal. So the way we do that is, and let me start by outputting the result we get back. So comparison operators at the end of the comparison would yield a true and false value, so a Boolean value. So let's say we want to check if my age is equal to your age. Well, the operator that we use is denoted by double equal signs, so like this. Again, this is not to be confused with the single equal sign. So the single equal sign is used in assignment. In this case, we want to perform a comparison, so we use the double equal sign, and this is basically going to perform a check that would say, is my age equal to your age? If these variables that we are using in the comparisons have the same value, we will get true printed out to the console. So we do expect to get true because these have the same value. So we get true. If these were not equal, what we would get is, you probably already guessed it, false. So that's how we check for equality, okay? Very simple. Let me just change that back. Okay, let's see how we can check for the opposite, right? For when variables are not equal. So check if variables are not equal. So let's override these variables, so I'm going to assign my age to 30 and then your age to 24. So this operator is the reversal of the equality check. So this would result to true if these variables are equal. In our case, let's say we want this to result to true only if the variables are not equal. So instead of using the equal sign, we would use the not equal to symbol. So this will return true if my age does not equal to your age. So if we run this, we should get true because my age is not equal to your age. So if we run it, we get true. However, if we give them the same value, we will get back false, because in this case, my age would be equal to your age. And what we're checking for here is for the inequality of these two variables, so that they're not equal. And only if they're not equal, then we should get back true. Okay? So let's get into some of the more easier ones. The next one that I want to go over is the greater than operator. So check if a variable is greater than another variable. Alright, so let's declare, let's use the same variables that we've been working with, my age and your age. Let's just reassign values to them. So we're going to say my age equals to 16 and your age equals to 15. Okay, so let's take a look at this type of operator here. Let's say we want to check if my age, let's say we want to do a check to see if my age has a greater value than your age. So to do that, let's do the const.log stuff that we've been doing, and then in here let's type out the operation. So to do a check like this, we start by typing the first variable name, and then we want to check if my age is greater than some value, and in this case it will be the your age variable. So we use the greater than symbol for this operation. So that's the right arrow, I think you call it, symbol on your keyboard, and then we place the value here that we want to do the check against, so your age. So this is saying, this operation is saying check if my age is greater than your age, and if it is, this operation, this comparison will result to true, and if it's not, of course, it will result to false. In this case, age is greater than your age, so, or my age is greater than your age, so it will result to true, which we get over here. Okay, of course if it wasn't, so if it was less than, then it would be false. Now let's check for the opposite. How do we check if a variable is less than another variable? So let's take a look at that. So check if a variable is less than another variable. So let's change my age here to have a less value, or actually let's use your age. So let's check if your age is less than my age. Okay, so this comparison will result to true if your age is, oh my bad, so this should actually be the less than symbol, which is the left arrow symbol on your keyboard. So the greater than symbol is the right arrow symbol on your keyboard, and the less than symbol is the left pointing arrow symbol character on your keyboard. So this will return true if your age is less than my age. So your age has the value 15 and my age has the value 16. So 15 is less than 16, so we should get true here, which we do. Okay? Let's go over two more and then we'll wrap up this video. So the next one that I want to go over, still following under comparison operators, is the greater than or equal to operator. So we use these to check if a variable is greater than or equal to another variable. Okay, so let's change the value of your age here to have the same value as 16. And now we want to use the greater than or equal operator here for this comparison. So the way this operator looks like is, of course, we already saw a look at the greater than symbol, so that's the right hand arrow character in your keyboard. And then the equal is going to be the equal character in your keyboard. So this is the greater than or equal operator, and this is going to say, perform a check that says, that will look at saying, okay, if your age is greater than my age, return true. Or if your age is equal to my age, also return true. In this case, you can see my age and your age have the same value. So the first check by saying your age is greater than my age would not be true. However, they do have the same value, so the second check would result to true, because it would say your age greater than, no. Okay, your age equal to my age, yes, so it's true. So if we output this to the console, we do get true. So this is how we can check, perform like two checks in one. Check if a variable is greater than another variable, or check if the variable is equal to another variable. And then the last one is the reversal of this for the less than or equal to operator. So check if a variable is less than or equal to another variable. So let's start off by giving them the initial value, but in this case we will be working with the less than symbol. So again, the left arrow character on your keyboard, so less than, equal to. So this should return true if your age is less than my age or your age is equal to my age. Okay? So in this case, we expect true because your age is equal to my age. So let's run it. Okay, but let's take a look at the other side of the condition where the your age is less than my age. And by making the value lesser, we should still expect to get back a result of true because your age, now being 14, will be less than my age, which is 16. And we get back true. Okay? And of course, we could do the same thing over here. I forgot to show you guys an example with the greater than or equal to operator. So here, we're just satisfying the second part of the condition to check that the values are equal. But we can also check for the first part of the condition where we check if your age is greater than my age. So let's make your age be 18. So your age is going to be greater than my age, so we should get about true as well. Okay, so like these are the main type of operators that we will be working with, especially in the fundamental series videos that I will be releasing. Um, there are a couple more, but it sort of makes sense not to cover those in these videos because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Like, I know this is probably uh, going to be a lot to take in. So just know that these are the more common types of operators that we use in programming. So the arithmetic operators, the assignment operator, and then the comparison operators. But just know that there are a couple uh, there are some more that I didn't cover in this example, but I will be touching on those when we get into future sections, such as going over conditionals and loops. One thing I also wanted to share with you guys is that for each video that I release, I will have a article post associated to that video. So if you prefer reading, you can go over basically the same thing that I talk about in the videos, but in a summarized version over here on this website. I will leave a link to this article in the description of this video. If you guys prefer reading, then hopefully this is a good alternative, or you can use them both. It's entirely up to you. So, as always, thank you guys for watching my video. Hopefully this was useful. I know this was kind of a long video, but hopefully you made it through to the end. And if you have any questions, any recommendations, please feel free to leave them in the comment section of this video. But that's it for now, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video where we will start diving into conditions.